Welcome. And again, thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. We're honored to present the fifth class in our Express Offers Training Series 105, Town Hall with the Experts. So this is a follow-up instructional series. It's designed to dive a little bit deeper into the Express Offers platform and its successful application into your everyday business. Because of our model, your your Express Offers team felt it was really important to give you guys an opportunity to hear from your peers and be able to discuss challenges and successes. How are these guys? How are your peers implementing and executing Express Offers? Why is it important even now more than ever? So today, this class is intended to provide valuable, usable information in a town hall structure based on real world experience. So we hope to give you some ideas, some suggestions, tips and tricks to get out into your local market area and start finding sellers that need our help. Okay, this is to give you a safe place for our EXP family to gather, discuss, ask questions. Okay, so today on our stage, I'm very excited. We have two rockstar EXP agents who have experience with iBuyers, either with Express Offers or prior to Express Offers, and they're willing to share what they know with you. So let me welcome David Acosta and Wendy Foreman to our stage. So David is out of California, and I'll give you a quick bio on both of these agents. So David's passion for real estate and investing started in 2003 in Texas when he founded the David Acosta Group. He's been named one of the top realtors in the nation by the Wall Street Journal and top real estate agents year after year. Currently affiliated, of course, with eXp Realty's innovative cloud-based model, because he's here with us. Previously, he was with Keller Williams, and he was the president of NAREP, which is the National Association of Hispanic. Oh, God, David, I'm going to get stuck. Tell me.
Great.
National Association of
Real Estate Professionals.
Oh, see, I almost had it. National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. Yes, thank you. So he developed a successful real estate practice through personal production with sales over 600 units a year, over 4,000 properties sold. He developed a strong professional team from the administrative side of the operations to the sales side of his business, and that supported, and he supported individual buyers, sellers, and new home builders and developers. So David often says, in order to be successful, you have to be passionate, teachable, and execute a plan. Like-minded folks. I love that, Dave. Key element in growing a business is identifying, recruiting, and developing better people than you and supporting them in reaching their goals. David currently resides in West LA with his wife, two amazing and talented daughters who form part of the Hollywood industry. Oh, you got celebs in your family, Dave?
Yeah, I'm very blessed with that, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, you can tell us about that in a second. Wendy, welcome, Wendy. Wendy Foreman leads a team of realtors in Norman, Oklahoma that services all of the Oklahoma City metro. Originally licensed in 2000, she joined her husband, Nate, who was licensed in 1999, in getting licensed after coming into the industry as investors. So they were investors before they were realtors. Foreman Group joined eXp in March of 2015. Wendy collects residential, rental, and commercial investment properties while keeping her focus on production as an Icon agent in 2016, 17, 18, and 19. Wow. Congratulations, Wendy. She prides herself on, she prides herself on being able to provide sound financial guidance to investors, whether it's their first home or their 100th investment. So welcome, David and Wendy, to our platform.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. David, you want to tell a little bit more than your bio, kind of what it is, what you're doing, how's Express Offers working for you? And by the way, folks, feel free to ask questions. You can either put them in the chat box or you can, unmute your mic and ask your question as we go. But David, tell us what you're doing.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here, and also for everybody that is coming. I'm sure that everybody is going a little crazy with all the changes that are happening in the industry. And on a day-to-day, our routines have changed, I know for a fact. And this is one of the programs that I believe that allows us all to really, really do a lot of work from the computer. There's also obviously just going out there and sourcing these properties and finding them and having conversations with people. But I believe that now that we're very limited as far as like how much interaction can we have on a face-to-face basis, these Express Offers programs allows us to really be able to use all the tools that the company has, plus a couple of other CRMs or programs or like systems that we can find to not only generate these leads that are rehab properties, flip properties, mostly investment properties that I will share with you that I've been doing, and having the chance to identify these good deals, put all the information, run your comps. Once you run your comps, you put it on a little bit of a spreadsheet or like a small pro forma sheet that you can find out, or I can share with you, or you can create your own. And then you analyze the deal and send it over through the portal of Express Offers, so you can find like one of these institutional investors that can actually buy them, pull the trigger on them, and from just pretty much being literally at your desk at home or at the office or whatever, just working on these numbers and all these properties, you can find a way for you to pretty much secure a transaction that it can close. And that these guys are very much comfortable not even going into the properties to looking at them. So with regular pictures, they make the decisions, they send somebody or they drive by the property, and they analyze all these numbers, and based on the numbers, they can say, you know what, I'm going to buy it. We can close fast. There's no issues as far as like loans, because we have seen right now that a lot of friends of us in the business have a lot of deals, and some of them are not closing. Some of them we're seeing that they're not even funding anymore because the lenders are changing their rules and they're getting a little bit tighter on these while they're figuring out how the forbearance is going to take place and it's really going to impact lending. So these investors that we have through Express Offers, they buy cash, and they're really being able to pull the trigger on all the work that you already did, either getting on the phone and securing the offer, getting on the phone, securing the seller to sell, or getting to actually analyze all the deals on your computer, send them through the system. They go ahead and look at these pictures without even having to go into the property. And then once they pull the trigger, they close because they're all cash, and then you can get paid like all of us. So I think that is a great platform for all of us that we're going to go ahead and explore with you today. You haven't really spent much time in it, but at the same time, I think that it's a great opportunity for you to start building all your pipeline once again, because the best part is that at the very end of the day, they're going to do a great job rehabbing these properties. They're going to be looking great, brand new, and then you can send to a vacant home a photographer, a videographer, do your virtual tour, and then go ahead and just put them on the system. And people, even though by 1, 2, 3, 4 months down the road, God only knows what's going to really happen with all this pandemic, right? But if people get out there and can buy homes again in person, that is going to be fantastic. If they can't, we still be able to go ahead and sell them because the properties are going to look amazing, and we're going to be able to put those transactions together and close them.
Fantastic, David. Thank you so much. That's wonderful insight. One thing I do want to throw out there to you guys before we segue to Wendy. Why do you think the big three, so Open Door, OfferPad, and Zillow Offers, and this is rhetorical, so you don't really have to answer, but why do you think those big three iBuyers have pulled out of the market? Well, I'm going to tell you, because they are backed by Wall Street money. And you guys have all seen what's happened to Wall Street, what's happened to the stock market, up, down, sideways, it's going bananas. And so, frankly, the investors, the Wall Street investors that back companies like that, of course, are hanging on to their money. And so it's created opportunity for us with Express Offers, basically because our marketplace of iBuyers are vetted. They individually have to demonstrate to us that they have cash, which they do. We have a proof of funds letter verifying that they have cash in order to purchase the range that they've identified in their buy box. And so for our marketplace of buyers right now, they are starving, they're hungry. They want to look at anything we can get in front of them because they still have cash. Their money hasn't gone anywhere. The stock market had no bearing on the funds that they have to spend. So we're in a unique situation right now. Number one, that Express Offers is still open. Number two, that our buyers are cash. And number three, that you guys have some time on your hands where you can get trained up. I'm so glad you're here today and figure out how to make this work for you virtually. So with that, I'm going to segue to Wendy. Wendy, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us. And sorry, honey.
No. So I want to hear your take as an investor yourself and being very familiar with this market segment. What's your thoughts? What are you thinking about this?
Well, and I take from a little bit different angle because I've got I'm in the area of the country where our iBuyer program has not even opened yet. You guys are going to be the first iBuyer on our market. I've sat down and had meetings with Open Door while we were at Inman convention and stuff, so I know what they are doing. So from my standpoint, there's always going to be wholesale investors looking for these properties, right? But us going out on these appointments, and out of 4 appointments that I've been called to for listings this week, 3 of these properties are going to be sold as is. So as soon as I can get one of our iBuyers to be bidding on these properties, I'm going to be in better position to, number one, either get these listings and potentially get the listing over competition in the market, or number two, be servicing the client on a higher and better level because they're being charged, obviously, less money to sell to an iBuyer on our platform than they would in one of the big three. And who knows when the big three are going to come, right?
Absolutely. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that they'll be coming back anytime soon?
I think they will, just like the rest of us anticipate the market will rebound at some point, but none of us know what that's going to look like. We don't know how many people might actually hit that 4th month and then, actually start the foreclosure process. We don't know what properties were already in foreclosure. One of the calls that I got this week was one that hadn't been paying on, and they've basically is all on hold. That's going to get me some more time to get that property listed and get it sold because you did have an equity position on it. And once we can get the iBuyers into my market, I just think I'm going to be able to better service those clients. So I'm a better listing agent because I can say, well, if you do X, Y, and Z to your property, here's the open market for it. And if you want to sell it as is, here's your bid. This just makes us better listing agents on any day of the week.
Absolutely. You know what? Let's circle back to what you said a few minutes ago, Wendy. I want to make sure everybody in the room understands that significant differentiator. The difference between what maybe you said you have Open Door in your market or had it?
No, we have none right now, Terry.
You have none.
No,
But-
EXP is going to be the first iBuyer in my market. I've just sat down and had meetings with Open Door about partnering with them, so I know what their gig is.
Right. So let's talk about the difference between a potential open door offer with that dreaded convenience fee versus express offers, because our iBuyers do not charge that convenience fee.
Yeah, and my understanding from my meetings with you and Cheryl is that was somewhere in the neighborhood of 3%, correct?
Well, Open Door, from what I understood, was charging anywhere in the range of 6% to 12% as
Yep.
a convenience fee. And then, of course, the realtor had to get paid somewhere out of all of that. And then, of course, the seller had to pay the closing costs as well. But in express offers, we have no convenience fee. The listing agent or the EXP agent is going to either accept the co-op commission offered in the MLS if they are submitting an MLS listed property, or they are going to negotiate with the seller and charge them only the listing side of the commission. So when you're comparing apples to apples, if Open Door was still around, we are a far better choice. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, pricing wise, for sure. But then on the flip side, you have to look at, you're going to also have the opportunity to be the listing agent if that iBuyer is relisting that property, right? So, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to go to our next question for David and Wendy. And then I'm going to ask a couple questions, you guys. I didn't actually go over the format. I'll ask a couple questions. We're going to keep watching on the chat box. And of course, feel free to chime in if you've got questions, because that's really what we're here for, is to get your questions answered. So what daily activities, guys, do you think that every agent should do to find a property right now?
Well, on my end, what I will suggest is that obviously you first have to understand, and there are not a lot of agents. I mean, there's probably 60 here in 63 in this room, but I don't know how many really actually already deal with investors or flippers or any kind of like this segment of the market. Because first you have to understand exactly how things work, and then sometimes it takes a little bit of time for you to develop to how much really people are going to spend on this, and net sheet and those kind of things. But once you understand that piece, what daily activities you should be doing, they're like Wendy was saying. Obviously, you got to be able to reach out to different investors. You got to be able to reach out to different wholesalers. You got to go to some investor clubs. You have to be able to be knowledgeable as far as like the numbers for like how much does it take to go ahead and rehab a property. Because if you have $1,000 square feet property, and you know that people are doing it in your market for $50, for $60, for $80, for $100 a foot just to rehab it, then you factor that into your expenses, and you say, I'm buying a property for $300, I'm putting $100 into it, so now I'm into $400, and if I'm selling it for $500,000 after commissions, expenses, and closing costs, there's going to be $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. So now you have to be analyzing on a day-to-day basis all these numbers in order for you to go through 10, 15, 20 of them, and then the ones that make sense, you know immediately that they're going to actually be bought by one of the express offers investors, and that way you don't waste your time. So it takes a little bit of time for you to get familiar with it. So it's practice, it's like running numbers, it's like kind of like looking at knowing the areas of the market that you're very familiar with, that if you know that a property typically sells for $400,000 or $500,000 there, and you're seeing it listed at half the price or 60%, or you see that there's some equity into it, then you can find out. There are different programs right now that a lot of MLSs provide, and one of them is one that is called Remine. I don't know if you guys have it on your MLS as part of your regular like membership with the MLS.
Love
Remind.
Remind.
And Remind, you can go ahead and plug in the equity and find out properties on that area based on that, and then go ahead and just prospect and focus on those sellers in particular. You can even add another layer on Remind that says which ones are out of town sellers or like absentee owners, what they call it. And then you can find like another filter into it, and then how long they've been in the property, all these kind of things. They help you identify these properties, and then you can target them and then prospect and reach out to them. But you have to run the numbers to see, even if I talk to them, at the end of the day, the number that they want to sell it for is not what it should sell. So, because nobody's going to buy it and invest into it and fix it and then put it on the market once again. So, I think daily activities are going to be obviously searching for properties, using a couple different platforms to find them, analyzing the deals so you can get familiar with them. And once you analyze the deals and then run the figures and you're comfortable at it, you're going to be so much faster at identifying those and then getting in contact with the sellers, locking in the deal, and submitting through the Express Offers platform.
Excellent. Absolutely. Wendy, what's your thoughts on daily activities right now, given our current situation? How are you looking for sellers?
I am just literally getting on the phone and calling people. And when I get out of here, I actually have to call another lead that I was just provided from one of my clients from talking to her on Facebook yesterday to call them about their listing another property. So, I mean, just checking on people at this point and seeing what they need, because the reality is, if we are the one calling them, we're probably the only realtor calling them, honestly. And whether you're talking to them via chat or online or actually picking up the phone and calling them, that's primarily, besides writing handwritten notes to folks, I'm actually calling or chatting online with people just all day long.
Great. Are either one of you doing any prospecting, specifically targeting sellers that might need an express offer? I know, David, you mentioned Remind, but are you specifically targeting maybe like, I don't know, pre-foreclosure or possibly distressed type sellers?
I'm not, because I found out that that it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and there's a lot of people doing it. So you can go at it and you can develop that muscle, but for me, it has been like really, really lengthy process, and not too many deals have come out of that.
Okay. What do you think, Wendy?
Question?
And I mean, reality is, in the past, I think that we've got, it's a little bit cyclical with the market. So, what we're coming into now, a bunch of these properties, people will not have extra cash to put them in. So that'll be perfect for it. But I have not been targeting those, although I think obviously if my last 4 appointments, 3 of them would be perfect for the program, I'm looking forward to getting that option. So as soon as I have the ability, I'm not going to have to try to be calling every wholesaler I know to say, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? Or present it to the market as a whole, just to put it out there to see what the highest and best value is going to be at. But I don't target it specifically. A lot of that stuff just falls in my lap just from being in contact with my sphere.
Gotcha. Hey, Cheryl, are you still in the room?
I had a flip over to mobile.
Okay, no worries. Hey, how are we looking on Oklahoma, Cheryl? I'm like putting me on the spot there, friend.
No, I'm working on it, and I actually think that we should open even if we just have 2, because Wendy is the type that she'll just dig in and get to know those 1 or 2 as we build out to 5. We need to talk about that.
Let's do it. Wendy, your wish is our command, my friend.
Yeah, I called Cheryl earlier because I'm basically begging at this point.
She can do it. Wendy's Wonder Woman. We love it.
Perfect. We'll get right on that. So somebody had a question.
This is Shirley. I need to ask a question. Are these only distressed properties or people that have to sell, or do you actually take a property that's on the market? And how much below market does Express Offers pay on for instance, if you had an example of a $450,000 market value, how would do Express Offers people also buy those kind of properties? But how much do they reduce the market value to buy it?
Well, I'll just give a quick answer to that real quick. Oops, Cheryl, I'm getting feedback, hon. So we have two basic types of iBuyers in our platform right now. We've got fix and flip iBuyers, and we've got buy and hold iBuyers. Our fix and flip iBuyers typically come in, their sweet spot is about 70% of after repair value. Our buy and hold iBuyers come in somewhere 88 to 94% of after repair value. Now, of course, those are huge generalizations. The iBuyers are going to look at every property and underwrite them individually. It's going to have to do with, condition. Most of our, obviously, our fix and flip iBuyers are just that. They are fix and flippers. So they want properties that need heavy rehab. If you have a house that just needs paint and carpet, they're not interested. They want something with heavy rehab. Our buy and hold iBuyers want lighter rehab. So they'll take the properties that need paint and carpet, put a couple grand, $20,000 into it, put a tenant in it. The buy and hold iBuyers are looking more at gross rental yield than they are at 70% of after repair values. And so if any of that language that I'm using seems foreign to you, then I'm going to encourage you to hop into the Express Offers training and I will teach you all about it. What other questions do we have?
I had one. I chimed in just a few minutes ago. When you were talking about the
Any
foreclosures
attraction information for investors. Javier, yes, there is plenty of information. It is in the pinned post in our workplace group, and there's a nice little list of criteria to introduce investors into our platform. You guys can go ahead and open up your mics and ask any questions you'd like of David and Wendy.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, no, I can't hear her. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Obviously, you would do that on purpose. Angela, what's your question?
Thank you so much. Can you hear me,
I
Terry?
can hear you. I guess Terry can hear you, which is strange.
No, I can't hear her.
I'm on my phone and my lap, like on the app on my phone, so in my car. So my question, I guess, or
Can you repeat it, Julie?
yeah. So I reached out to a local foreclosure agent. Like, he targets people in like basically my neighborhood. That's how I ran into him in the Phoenix area. And I reached out to him and I asked him, I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, Zillow, OfferPad, and Open Door, they're all not doing those offers right now. And the government actually said that they were going to stop doing any foreclosures right now because of the COVID-19. So he just kind of stopped looking for those right now and kind of put it on hold. So, I mean, what are your recommendations for the current situation with the COVID-19 and seeking out the pre-foreclosure market right now?
So Terry, she wants to know about the pre-foreclosure market right now.
Terry.
Oh, go ahead, David.
Terry, Julie, may I add to that?
Yes, please.
So let me just say something that I know that it is the best time for all of us to be in this, looking at this segment of the market for many reasons. Like Terry said, all of these guys are holding off because of the money is coming from institutional investors. But another thing is that these guys that have all these deep pockets and they have been in this business for so long doing this, they're just waiting to be there, to be more blood on the streets. And I believe that in about 3 to 6 months, we're going to start seeing a lot more. But in about 6 months to a year, we're going to see a ton of business coming from this platform and great opportunities for everybody, because everybody's salivating on the mouth. And it's sad that we say this, because I know that these situations are not necessarily because people were dumb or people were really extending on their credit or anything like that. This is something that happened just to the entire world. But at the end of the day, it's reality. Some people that they didn't have enough reserves and enough cash and enough ways for them, their jobs, they're like very, they're not necessarily jobs that are going to be that much needed. They're going to suffer because while every single company is actually just trying to reinvent themselves and figure out how to get ahead, some jobs are no longer going to be there. So people are going to suffer and they're going to lose their jobs, or they're going to have to find another one, a second, a third. I was there in 07, 08, 09, 10. And people, it took a little while for people to figure things out. But there was like the most opportunity available in the market because people, even if they go in forbearance, or even if they don't have evicted, or even if they don't do anything for rents or mortgages, what's going to happen is that these guys, they're going to have to add the additional payment to their mortgage, and they're going to start collecting that on top of it. And they're not going to be able to fulfill their obligations. And some of them are going to lose their job, their house, or in order for them not to lose them, they're going to have to sell it on a fire sale, cash out the equity, and take a hit right away, and then move to a smaller place that they can afford. And it's going to be an adjustment. So all these investors, it's not that they're probably necessarily just like don't want to buy right now. It's just that they're really saying, okay, I'll buy the best ones right now. But in a couple of months or in a year from now, there's going to be a lot of muddy waters, and they're really going to jump in with both feet and take as many properties as they can. So now, if you've already been doing this, you've already been proving yourself that you can know how to identify the property and how to work the system and be people sending them properties all the time, they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger with you.
Good info, David. Julie, rather than repeat that question, I'd like to take Angela's question, because I was just having this conversation as the iBuyer relationship manager within Express Offers. We were just having this conversation with another iBuyer yesterday regarding the temporary moratorium on the foreclosures, and it's a great opportunity for us to be talking with those sellers before they go into foreclosure. So put them through Express Offers, and in the temperature around our iBuyers, some of them are getting really bullish because they know that their real estate never goes to zero. It can never go to zero, and it's the safest investment out there right now. So David's right in saying that some of them are being extra careful, and they're putting some filters and maybe offering lower offers right now until they adjust to the new normal. But we all know that this is temporary. We know that this is temporary. So my point was, get those foreclosures, get to those sellers before those homes go into foreclosure. That's the opportunity, really.
So you're talking about like going into Zillow and looking up the pre-foreclosures in your area?
Or here we have IMAP that we can see when a Liz Pendants is filed, or get with attorneys. The attorneys that are working the foreclosures is another opportunity. Yeah, well, we can find out when the Liz Pendants are filed. Talk to them about short sales.
Hey, you guys, the question that I was asking though is the government is basically saying they're not going to do any foreclosures right now with the COVID-19. So seeking out the foreclosures in this market right now is really kind of what I was wondering. A local agent was doing foreclosures and seeking out people that were close to that. And he stopped doing it right now because the government put foreclosures on hold right now.
Well,
I'll get to them before. I'm sorry if maybe you can't hear me or I wasn't clear, but get to them before the seller goes into foreclosure, right? So get your advertising out there. I can help you with a cash offer, short sale. Get to them before they go into foreclosure status.
absolutely, Cheryl. And forgive me, I did not introduce you properly, and for that, I apologize. We have a rock star with us, another rock star with us today. And to your point, Cheryl, that's absolutely right. So, we've been at this for about 3 weeks now, depending on what part of the country you live in, 3 weeks. And there were plenty of people who had already begun the foreclosure process. We can save them because they've put the moratorium on foreclosure. That means that the sheriff is not going to show up and throw them out. So we have time to get them a cash offer. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay,
got you.
sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Any
Hey,
thoughts
guys.
on that?
Hey, Terry, it's Jeff Baker. You know,
Hey, Jeff.
things that we should be looking at right now are like you said, pre-foreclosure stuff. Not necessarily that there's foreclosure or trustee sales set, but for notices of default, they're still going to be processed. Whether or not they actually move out of that into a actual foreclosure or trustee sale is kind of irrelevant, because you might be able to save those people that are already in trouble, because NODs are going to get filed regardless of moratorium that may be on foreclosures. So, you know, get with your favorite title rep and find out when those NODs are being filed and contact those folks.
Okay, NOD, what's that, Jeff?
Notice of default.
Notice of default usually comes about, well, I know in Illinois, it usually comes about 9 months after they stop making payments.
Well, it's faster than that in California.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah,
and so
about-
once the
90
notice of default is served, that means the court process and the actual foreclosure has begun, which means we still have a window of opportunity to get people to a sale.
Hey, Jerry.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Julie from Pennsylvania. I have a question. How do we know whether we have a buy boxes in our area?
You would have to log into the Express Offers platform and pull up your state. State, are you Pennsylvania? You have buy boxes. We're open in Pennsylvania.
And from what Cheryl was telling me, Terry, it's very individual to each individual iBuyer, correct?
As far as what their criteria?
Yeah, what their buy boxes are.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, you may have, I mean, David could probably speak to this really well. I mean, Wedgwood, who is one of our largest iBuyers, they're in, I think, I don't know, Cheryl, how many states?
Buy boxes.
There you go. 109 buy boxes across our 22 states that we are currently open in. And so they can customize their buying criteria for each one of their buy boxes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, and the fun thing about that is we're making buy box improvements right now, which means that we're improving the software, and so it's going to be a lot easier for investors to know what we're asking them to put in the buy boxes, because if you don't know, we actually have our investors go in and create their own buy boxes, although Cheryl and I also help with that sometimes. And so for these big improvements that are coming out, I told Wedgwood that I would make all the changes, so that's going to be real fun for 100
Hi,
boxes, and that's
Julie?
gonna come out on Monday.
Julie?
Yeah.
Julie, Mark Dirksen here from Central Illinois.
Hello.
I've just been flipping through the buy boxes across the states just to sort of get a feel for their going, and I'm really glad you're doing improvements. I think it would be very helpful if you could, if the iBuyers could indicate if they are fix or flip or hold and, you know, buy and hold.
Well,
And delineate.
You're going to be really happy.
Okay, all right. That's thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We went a step further with that. Terry, actually, her idea was to color code the boxes, so you're going to see blue,
Even better.
orange, and green. Green will be like
Perfect.
obviously,
Yeah.
orange is fix and flip, but we'll see on Monday. So anyway, that's coming up next week. So Seth has made those changes, and it's gone through our quality assurance right now. And then we just decided rather than do it today, we do it on Monday because it makes more sense for if we have problems.
Thank you.
So that's
Thank you.
Terry,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hi, can you please?
Oh, hold on. Lynn.
Yeah. I really want to ask you guys, I don't understand the buy boxes or how you spell that word out, because I'm trying to Google it myself as Mark is doing in the central area, so I can get an idea of what you guys are all talking about, because this is a new topic to me.
Okay, well, you probably won't understand what we're talking about at all until you go and take 101 Core Concepts, so that you understand what this platform is all about. So I'm going to tell you to go into our workplace group, Express Offers Community, join that group, and then take a look at Julie's pinned post at the top, and you can start the core concepts class there. It'll give you a really good overview.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Mm-hmm. You guys, do we have any more questions for Wendy and David?
I have
In
a
terms of
question.
what they're doing? Okay, go ahead, Cheryl.
Okay, I was just wondering, like, right now, the people that buy and hold, are they holding? I think you said they hold it to rent it. And is there a certain or standard return on investment that people are doing right now as far as what they expect if they buy a house? And is it 10%? 20%? What is the going rate for ROI?
Carrie.
Okay.
Silence.
Yeah. No, here's what I'll give you on that. So a lot of our buy and hold iBuyers are giving us a gross rental yield percentage that they're looking for, and it seems to me they're hovering between 10 and 11% of gross rental yield. So it's not return on investment. ROI is going to factor in expenses and other things, where gross rental yield is a gross number. Very easy calculation. And again, that's I go over that in great detail in 102.
Hey Terry, David was trying to use. He has Crankwheel on, and he was going to share his screen so he could show us a couple of property examples.
Screen.
He was going to show us like Remine if we want, but he's trying to get that screen to work where the map is over there.
The map one? Yeah, I took ownership, so let me undo the ownership and clear the board, and then David, you should be able to load it.
Yeah, we figured there might be a permission problem because we were
Yeah.
behind the scenes, and he was
Yep.
telling me about it, and I was like, "That's a great idea," but yeah, we just need the screens to work, and then we could show some stuff.
Okay.
Cool.
There you go.
We'll do that on that right screen for everyone.
You can do that.
Inside of the world on the top where it says screen zoom, if you use that third one, you'll be able to see it. So he'll have to set it up real quick though.
No worries. In the meantime, we probably will have a couple more questions. So what else do we got in the buy box? I mean, in the chat box.
Well, I guess, and I can work with David on this afterwards, but a couple of people wanted to see his analyzer, whatever spreadsheet he's using. So maybe I could post that later. If he can give me some information, I could also put that in our workplace group.
Absolutely. That'd be fantastic. So what I want you guys to understand is that there are ways to present an express offers option virtually. So there's several steps involved. You should go through all the training, and you can send the brochure, the disclosure to seller brochure, via email. It's a PDF. It's a beautiful piece. You can send the acknowledgement, the second part of the disclosure to seller, to them using DigiSign, along with your compensation agreement using DigiSign. You can email them the property condition report, have them fill it out, and then have them send you all of the photos in the checklist on the property condition report. Boom. There you go. It may take a day or two. Some of our sellers aren't very tech savvy, but you can get all of this information digitally and be able to submit a property for consideration by our marketplace without ever going into the property. So another reason.
And we're gonna
Yeah.
make, a little video about that this afternoon, Terry and I.
Yeah, indeed. Wendy, you got some comments?
No, I think that's the perfect thing because this is actionable items that people can be doing while we're locked down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if I wasn't so immersed in express offers 14 hours a day, what I would be doing is I would be taking a look in my tax database or in Remine, and I have the luxury of having Remine. I would find all of the properties that are already in lease pendants, and I would probably send them a postcard right now and say, hey, reach out to me. The other thing I could do, because I also have access to an app called Forewarn, I can search that homeowner, and I can find phone numbers associated with that address. And then I could call those phone numbers and reach out and say, hey, I might have a solution for you.
David?
What were you doing?
David put his link there in the chat, so if everyone can click that, you'll be able to see it on your own computers.
Oh, cool. Blue link.
Yeah. And that's his Crankwell session.
What is the app called, Terry? The one you say you use for one?
That's it. It's in the chat box. Wendy typed it out. It's Forewarn, Forewarn, Forewarn.
Oh, okay, yeah, got it. Sorry, I was looking at the link. Okay, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Click on the link, you guys, so that you can see what David's going to show us here, because this is good stuff. Are you talking, David?
He's not talking.
Now I am.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know what you guys see. Do you guys see like the MLS? That's the plus. Do you guys see that or no?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So as you can see here from the actual main page of my MLS Access, there's a link here for Remind. And when you click here on Remind, it will take you to this page where you initially log in and everything. But from that point on, right here, you can go to any area in particular that you're interested in. Like, for example, you can go to, let's say that I'll go here to Hawthorne or in LA. And in this area, you start zooming in, and then you get to an area that you get all the different dots to come up. Okay? And you get like all the properties that are right there. Let me just let it load. And then here on search, you can search a property in particular or whatever, but here you can say property value. And there's some upgrades that you can do with your MLS and pay for that. And you can say ownership.
Wait, where, search where? What did you just do?
I didn't do any search yet. I just zoom into the map.
Okay, how did you get that pop-up menu to appear, the ownership time?
Because it goes here. It is
a delay, so be patient, okay?
Oh, okay, perfect. So
Hey,
there's
David, hold on one second. Hey, Mark, you're in Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Are you part of MRED?
Oh, yeah. I'm
that
familiar
means-
with Remind. I'm familiar with Remind. I want to see him do his thing.
Oh, you are familiar with Remind. Okay.
I am,
just wanted you to understand that we have a Zoom call with Carrie Little on Wednesday. She's going to demo Remind for us, just
Okay, great.
FYI.
Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry, David. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no worries. So here, I understand the delay. So when you're in a search, you can zoom in the map, or you can type in an address here on the top. But once you're there, you can go and say, there's a menu that automatically pops up right here. Then you go through home equity, values, ownership in time, sales score, absentee owners, building type, land use, Airbnb, mortgage rate. You can say who has a rate over 7 to 12%. And then if you put that in there, it's going to show you different options. And then you can say, look, these guys have like over these rates right there. So, and then you can add more filters and more filters as you go. What was the last sales price? And then it will tell you exactly what it was. And then you can select those ones. You can say how long they've been living there. The mortgage age, you can say like the how many they actually bought cash. So there are a lot of different filters that you can find. But here, if you just focus on absentee owners, ownership time, and home equity, automatically those three are going to give you what you need. Find out good deals, because you guys are thinking only on foreclosures, and that is going to be something harder, like I mentioned. But in today's market, it's going to happen in a year or two from now, I'm thinking. So, but there are a lot of people that have inherited those homes that they have not been taken care of, that there's like a lot of deferred maintenance, and or people that are actually cannot afford it because the rate is so high. And you can go and ask them, they do have equity, they have been living there for a while, and at the end of the day, they can get the properties that they want. You can get the properties that you want and start targeting those guys. And out of 10, 20, 100 people there, you can find 2, 3, 5 deals that are off-market properties that you can prospect for listings, and you can either put on the regular market or you can send it over to the Express Offers platform.
Hey, Dave.
Now, yes.
Michael had a question. He said, what is the optimal ownership time to target prospects?
Well, I think that if you go 10, 20, 15, 20, 30 years plus, depending on your market. I mean, LA, there's people that have been living there for like 30, 40 years in the property, from even buying or renting. It's amazing. And you'll find like old homes that are going to turn that they haven't done any repairs whatsoever. And I think that you can find those right there, because if you put them there, it's going to tell you, like, for example, I'll click in one of the properties just to give you an idea. And here, this property in particular is going to actually show you when was the last time that it was sold, if they had the refinancing or anything like that. And if they refinance and if you see that it was like a little money, they could either pay their debts, or they can actually do like a home equity loan and get like some property being there for them to do it. So a recent tax, utilities, net equity, valuation, demographics, whatever. So you can find a lot of these things right here. Look, net equity. These people have like a full price equity because there's no mortgage anymore. So if you go longer into looking for that, you can find great deals. So I'm gonna switch screens right here for a second, and then I'm gonna show you like this. This was a property. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see this screen? Like a little home on the left. Okay, so this was a home that it was bought for $500,000, and these guys, they just needed to get out because they inherited the property and they couldn't afford it. And it was completely remodeled. It was bought for $500,000. We put it on the market at $639,000. We got 6 offers. We sold it for $664,000. So $25,000 over 11 days that actually got on escrow, and we got money on the purchase and money when we listed. This other one was a property.
Hey, wait, David, hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
I want to clarify that for them really quick so that they get it. So you made commission when you introduced that property to the iBuyer, correct?
Correct.
And then when the iBuyer bought it and rehabbed it and gave it back to you completely looking like new construction, you went from a $500 purchase of the iBuyer to a $639 list, and you got a commission again.
Correct.
See? Okay, great. Thanks.
There's another one that it was very similar. It was introduced to them. They bought it for a cheaper number. Also, 490 some thousand. They put in all the remodel into it, and it sold from $589. We ended up selling for $599. 19 days on the market with 3 offers. Okay, $10,000 above asking, and everything happened and closed. So these are properties that they were not in foreclosure, that they were properties that they just needed a lot of rehabbing, the houses were stay back in time in 1960 something when they were built. They haven't replaced the carpets, they haven't replaced the countertops, they haven't replaced the kitchens, the bathrooms, and people just had a chance to go ahead and see them like that. Now, there's another opportunity right now that, like, for example, I'm sending to some of my clients, because this is something that I've seen more and more happening, that are like duplex and triplex and fourplex, because I found that was a great opportunity. Like this one right here, if you see this property was bought for like $790,000. And when they actually got it on the market, this one right here, because the rents are so high right there on a triplex, okay, he was able to go with 90 offers on the market for $1.3 million when he was listed for 1.2. And I know that not every place in the country works like this, but I can tell you, it was other investors that wanted to buy it just for the cash flow, but somebody actually did the work of fixing the property. So it was like a really, really old, like very, very nasty colors and like carpet and like bathrooms and everything. And it was totally rehab. And when it was rehab, people really, really loved it because they said, I don't have to do the work, and they were able to pay a premium for it.
Hey, David, can you send me your presentation that I can share in the workplace group?
Sure. I think it's on your email, Julie. Okay. So just those are a couple of different examples, like I was telling you. If you see this, I pull up some numbers so you guys have an idea. But look at it. It's nothing that, and obviously when I share it with my clients, I put on a disclaimer and I give them all that information. But look at this. This was bought for $620. Okay, and they actually just fixed it and they sold it for 1.3 after it was listed for 1.2. So it gave them a profit for this long, but this was actually a client that had it and listed it and fixed it themselves. This one right here, this is the one that I was showing you right now, with 92 offers, was bought from right here, close to $695, and actually right now for 1.4, okay, with 92 offers. When it was originally listed at 1 million and then took it off the market, the first deal didn't perform. It was released at 1.2, and then 92 offers later at 1.4, completely done. It's like $400,000 in actually less than 2 years that people made.
Hey, David,
By fixing it.
can you just briefly say how you found these properties?
Like I was telling you, you either find the equity, find the all-time, I mean, how much time did they have that property? They own the property. If there was a change of name, or if it was, but no mortgage involved. So it was probably somebody that inherited the property, like a grand deed, okay? And then things like that you can find out in different, like with your title company, your title partners, but at the same time, you can do it directly, like I was showing you here, through companies or applications like Remine.
Well, this has been amazing information. We are at the top of the hour. If you want to hang out and ask more questions, I'll stick around. Our panel members, I know your time is incredibly valuable, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But thank you, Wendy Foreman, Oklahoma. Thank you, David Acosta, California. Thank you, Cheryl Hauk. You are out there still. Florida. Cheryl's our iBuyer representative in Florida. Julie is our agent liaison for Express Offers. And of course, I am Terry, and trying to train you guys as best we can. So again, guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Any parting words, Wendy, David?
No, just thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it, and stay focused and positive, and I hope that you and your families are doing great.
Yep, there's going to be lots of opportunities coming up, so stay focused on that.
Oklahoma, here we come.
Oklahoma, we're gonna work on it right now.
Thank you,
Wendy.
everyone. Thank you, everyone on the
day,
panel. I really appreciate all the information you guys presented.
Thank you.
Heck yeah, this was a good one. Thanks, guys.